Hello, everybody, and welcome to Red Wings Daily, presented to you by FanArch. I'm your host, Kirk MckNight, author of The Voices of Hockey, Broadcasters Reflect on the Fastest Game on Earth, and coming to you from the Pacific Northwest. Now, before I get any further into the program, I want to thank you all for viewing, liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, you name it. I sound like a PBS commercial, but it's thanks to viewers like you that we're about to become five-figure strong viewership-wise. Probably by the end of the day today, and it's only our 16th video. So thank you all for tuning in, for watching, for liking, for all that you do. Please keep giving us your feedback. We want to hear the things you want more of or the things you want less of. Your input is very valued. Returning to the action, the Red Wings are still up in the Pacific Northwest. They're just on the Canadian side of the border, taking on the Vancouver Canucks tonight. Vancouver is 11-15-3 coming into the game, and the Red Wings are 15-11-3, fresh off that win Saturday night against the Kraken. Now, the usual suspects as far as Vancouver goes, they've got Brock Besser, they've got Pettersson, they've got Quinn Hughes, but a new addition they have to the team is somebody who isn't going to be showing up there really high on the rankings as far as offense goes, but offensiveness, he's at the top of my charts, maybe second only to Tom Wilson, and that's Evander Kane. Now, there's going to be a lot of talk of Kane in this episode, but it isn't going to be Evander. It's going to be Patrick and all that he did and all that Saturday was for me from a Kane perspective. But going back to Evander Kane, let's just hope he doesn't stick a knee out or do something dumb or cross-check the wrong player and put somebody in the hospital. Hopefully that isn't going to happen. And if it does, I hope Benny goes right after him with his mouth foaming. But going back to Saturday, the Red Wings in Seattle, it was a very interesting game to be there and watch in person. I was there at morning skate. I was able to see the players. I made a sign for Patrick Kane saying, "Let me write your biography." I even hit the glass as he was walking out onto the ice to skate and just nodded, and he nodded back. Slapped glass with Lucas Raymond when he was done with his practice skate and going back into the tunnel. So those kinds of things I just love. In fact, everybody loves Raymond, so can't say enough about the guy, as I've seen him twice in pregame kind of thing. Flipped a puck to my daughter, hit the glass for me. That stuff speaks volumes to me. But in the actual action tonight, we had a rookie trio basically connecting for the first goal to put the Red Wings up 1-0. It was on the power play. Axel, Finns, and Nate D combining on that. I've already said enough about this in earlier programs, but when I was doing the intermission segment Saturday night up in the radio booth for the Red Wings, they interviewed me back from the studio back east, and they said, what do you feel about the future of this team? And like I've said on this show before, I love the idea of the team in the future because of them surrounding themselves with these veterans. Now, we've got the young blood in Lucas Raymond and Mo Sider, and we've got the veteran presence of Larks, of Kane, obviously, of Van Riemsdyk, and even getting there with DeBrincat. Special aside, congratulations, Kat. He's a father again as of last Friday, so congratulations to you. Going back to the action, though, with Axel, Finns, and Nate D combining with each other on this goal, I feel like it just goes to show we're moving in the right direction, and hopefully they're continuing to get the information and the wisdom that they need from players like Larks, Van Riemsdyk, and Kaner. So they got the scoring off and running for us, power play goal. We were only on the power play once on Saturday. We were 1-for-1 for it. The Kraken were on the power play twice, and the Red Wings killed it both times. So special teams, they were all there. They were all set. Perfect in special teams. No 6-on-5 blown saves to end it. To basically force overtime. Nothing like that happened. So as far as I go, it was a pretty solid effort for them in the special teams. Now, there came a part in the second period while I was watching, and I was getting to a point where I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can keep watching this, because the Kraken scored 2 straight goals, took a 3-2 lead, and the Red Wings were really trying to solve things but really couldn't. And there just came a point, Van Riemsdyk just comes up the ice and basically just takes into his own hands, and he snipes one on the top shelf. And it really, really changed the mood for the Wings. There was only 27 seconds left in the second period. So that goal right there flipped a switch, obviously, because the Wings dominated the third period, ending with Kaner's game winner with little over 2 minutes left, in between 3 and 2 minutes left in the game. Kaner and Van Riemsdyk, both 2007 draft products. So there we are, going from talking about the rookie class to talking about these veterans. But when I was watching Van Riemsdyk take it into his own hands like that, don't mention the fact that I was actually at Greenwood Cemetery earlier in the day and went to Jimi Hendrix's grave as part of my little experience in Seattle on Saturday. Being a big rock and roll fan, I'm a huge fan of the Stones, and there was basically a documentary on Exile on Main Street, my favorite Rolling Stones album. And Bill Wyman, Keith Richards, Charlie Watts, Mick Jagger, they were all recording this album in a chateau in France. And they were recording in separate rooms, and things were just not clicking. And there got to be a point where they all walked to the threshold of their room, and they could all see each other from across hallways or whatever. And they all had this look in their eyes like, I think people are going to forget who we are. And I feel like Van Riemsdyk maybe had a sense of that, and took it to the hole and got that goal and really flipped the switch, like I said. So going into the third period, the Red Wings really controlled it throughout most of the game back there, and really pulled it together. So I really want to look at that Van Riemsdyk goal, because another thing mentally, if you're the Seattle Kraken, you have all this momentum, 3-2, thinking, we're going to go into the break and really like dangle these guys over a barrel, and that's exactly what didn't happen, because I can't tell you what more of a gut-wrenching feeling it is probably for a player than to give up a goal with less than a minute to go, especially less than half a minute to go. So I think that JVR flipping that switch, obviously it changed for the Red Wings, and they were able to pull off the victory. Now, my personal take on the game is the fact that for years I've wanted to see Patrick Kane in action. Even when he played for the Blackhawks, I still wanted to see him, because I knew that I'd be seeing history and watching this player. I've seen the heavyweights of the league. I've seen Ovechkin. I've seen Crosby, Connor McDavid, Jack Eichel. I've seen all the guys. But I still hadn't seen Patrick Kane, and he didn't disappoint. 497 goals for his career right now. He's closing in on Modano for all-time points. I think he's only 12 away from tying him. He's been having points in games the last several games in a row. He really didn't disappoint. And I was wearing my Kane hoodie like I am right now. I was wearing this in the arena. And luckily, the Red Wings are a very well-traveled team. And I didn't feel scared at all, because not only was I surrounded by Red Wings fans, but it was the giveaway jersey that night was for Washington State, and those colors are red. So when you already got 8,000 or 9,000 people wearing Red Wings gear in Climate Pledge Arena, it doesn't really help that when you give your home fans some red jerseys to wear, it seriously looked like a Red Wings home game. It was hilarious to see, and I honestly don't understand how the schedule makers didn't see that. The promotional schedule makers, when they were putting things out, you didn't think to put it on a different day, maybe a team like Boston, even a team that doesn't have red in their color scheme. But it was beautiful to watch. I even got a little souvenir from Climate Pledge Arena. Third time watching the Red Wings, 2-0-1. Can't ask for more than that. But I talked a little bit earlier about the switch getting flipped, and not really talking so much about the switch itself, but talking about the highs and lows. In the post-game press conference, this is what McClellan had to say, and this is going to be our quote for today's No Cap recap. Up and down, I liked our start. I thought we got out of the gate okay against a team that was going to be desperate. The game played out as I thought. I thought it would be close checking. A little disappointed in our D-zone coverage in the second, but we certainly cleaned it up in the third. Didn't give up that much. We weren't in our end for extended periods, and patient enough for an opportunity to score, so that was better. throwing that into the AI translator, this is what comes out the other end. Ups and downs, you know. Digged our jump. Thought we came out of the gate kind of strong against a team that was straight up thirsty. Game played out how I peeped it. I figured it'd be a tight one. Kind of salty about our D-zone coverage in the second, but we cleaned up shop in the third. Didn't cough up too much. We weren't stuck in our zone for like forever, and we were chill enough to find a chance to score. So that's a W. And folks, that is a W. Let's hope for another W tonight as the Red Wings take on the Canucks. Let's see if they can keep this momentum going. Points in the first 2 of their 6 on this West Coast trip. They're going to be taking on the Canucks, then they're going to be taking on the Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers, and ending up in Chicago this weekend. So let's see how they do. But right now, Red Wings are dominating the Pacific Northwest as far as I go, and that's the only thing that's going on in my ears. So like I always say, folks, LGRW from the PNW. This has been Red Wings Daily, presented to you by FanArch. Again, click, like, subscribe, view, comment, whatever you do. We appreciate it all. Thank you, and have a good day.